Morning, everybody. It's Wednesday the 4th, is it? It's almost 10 o'clock. We're having a little bit of a late breakfast this morning because we've been sitting here talking about business rather than actually getting cooking. So now I'm really hungry and I got to get my ass in gear. It is live, so I try not to say too many swear words, but as you can understand, that's always easy to say and hard to do. So, we're having beef fajitas today. I've got a little chunk of tri-tip that I bought recently at the store. And I plan on having some of this for dinner, either tonight or tomorrow night, but we want to cut some up for breakfast. Got the typical vegetables for fajitas, which is peppers and onions. Then I'm going to throw in some sliced creamy mushrooms. Why my wife bought them already sliced, we have no idea. It's one of those things that they got delivered. And I've got some green beans that I can cut up and throw in the stir fry, as well as a real nice rice medley, the eggs, of course, and our super greens. It's not just greens, it's super greens. It should have a cape. That's what I think. But in any case, time to get going. Pans are already getting hot. So literally, the thing that takes the longest to cook in this whole mess is actually the green beans. So I want to get those going right away. And to get those tender, we're going to slice them a little bit thinner. And we're just going to take out enough for 2 people. So there's 1, 2. There we go. And of course I want to be able to eat them easy, so I cut them a little bit on the bias so it's easy to pick up with a fork. But not too long that you can't fit it in your mouth. Nothing like having food sticking out of your mouth when your fork's done doing its work. So, bite-sized pieces, not cubes, not small, because I want to eat it with a fork, not a spoon. These are already stemmed, ready to go. So there we go. Get out the magic bench scraper and get those going. I'm going to slice the beef super thin, which is why it's going to be cooking really quick. And so in the meantime, just start prepping. Get the trash can out. Don't take a beat of the trash can, Jody.
Okay.
Thank you. And of course, fajitas usually mean julienne vegetables, so this is called julienne, this cut. Long, thin slices. That's typically what they mean by julienne. Who's they anyway? Oh yeah, the chef who came up with all this stuff and tried to codify food many, many, many years ago. That's why there's a language in the professional kitchen that is sometimes sounds a little odd, but it's fairly universal. So I'm just going to do a little more peppers there. And just to add my rainbow, I'm going to do a tiny bit of yellow squash. Just enough for the 2 of us. Nice and thin. So all these are cooking at the same time. We've got a big rainbow today. We've got a 5-item rainbow. And that's always a good thing. So green beans are doing fine. Let's get the beef cut. Again, we're doing fajitas, so we're just going to go real thin. And how much beef is? I'm looking at Jody. She looks pretty hungry, so I may have to cook a little bit extra today. She likes my cooking.
I do.
What can I say?
Yep, I do. And I love that someone else cooks for me.
Yeah, the best thing to eat is what somebody else cooks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we learned that one the hard way after doing all the cooking ourselves for so many years. So if you cook for me, I'll eat it. Of course, unless it has cow's milk in it, unfortunately. So we're just about there. And we're going to call that good with all the other things. And I still got a nice chunk for dinner. And now we're going to crank that pan up. I've got some fajita seasoning that I make. I usually make a batch of it every 3 months. And I just got all the things I really like. So now that we're all laid out with my salt, the vegetables actually take as long or longer than the beef. So they got to go in first, also because I'm making a lot of them for our rainbow today. And I don't want to add the mushrooms just yet. I want to get everything a head start on the cooking. Because the mushrooms will put out some liquid. And I'm not quite ready for that yet. So, salt. It's almost time to refill the salt container. My wife still says I put too much salt on, but I tell her to get over it. Turmeric, of course. Ground pepper. And A little bit of our fajita seasoning. Turmeric is very commonly used in curry, and curry and chili powder and southwestern flavors really have a lot in common, so they work pretty well together. There we go, that's starting to wilt down. Okay, got a screaming hot pan for my beef. So let's get this going real quick. I want to have it handy because as soon as this oil hits the pan, it's going to be hot, and I don't want it to get too smoky. There we go. Super thin deep, super thin quick. And of course, a little bit of salt. And with the fajita seasoning. There we go. I actually put this seasoning together for the United States Olympic volleyball team in 1986 when they were doing a fundraiser at the club I was working at in Southern California. So I've been using it ever since. Because everybody said, boy, those are the best fajitas I've ever had. And usually you got to listen when people say that kind of stuff. All right, here we go. We got our nice medley here. Beautiful rainbow. Mushrooms going in. Out of time, just a few. Well, that's the perfect time to start putting things away. And heating up the rice. Nice wild rice medley. They're buying the store. Cooks up easy. And if you look at that beef, it's almost done. In fact, it is done. So it goes over here. And it sits on top. While we let everything else cook down. Get those mushrooms a little bit soft. I don't want that beef really cooking anymore. I don't want to leave it on top. And I can also throw my greens on top right now. Super greens! One. We'll just call it 1.5. We got a lot of veggies over there. So again, we've got a 6-item rainbow. And that's, as we always say, what's going to get us through today. That's the typical deal. And look, I'm almost cleaned up. It's amazing. I'll still hear about the stovetop though, don't worry. Some things never change. Okay. So, that pan gets turned down. The mushrooms are just getting softened. I'm going to literally make a little dome with my greens. Give that a few more seconds while we see that. You could add a little squeeze of lime juice to this. I just don't have any limes. There we go.
Looks amazing.
Yeah. Boy, when you can see a lot of colors, it makes you just, I don't know, makes me hungry, makes me feel like I'm getting something important and lovely in myself. So, here we go. Egg time. Of course, we're just doing Jody's, and then we'll shut the camera off. But you can pretty much bet mine will look exactly the same. I know I tend to be a little bit generous with the butter. If you don't want to be so generous, that's fine with me. Or you can just do what you like. As usual, if you're a regular watcher, know we most of the time do our eggs over medium, which means firm white, soft yolks. And while those are cooking, it's time to divvy up the food. Here we go. We're going to get some rice in each plate. Not a lot today, it's just the last, so rather than cook more, we'll just use what we have and call that good. Got a lot of other stuff going on anyway. I'm going to remember to put my flaxseed on now because I have been forgetting it a few times lately. And that's just all that good stuff in there. You can look up all its health benefits online. And now our fajitas goes right on top. In fact, the hardest part here is just trying to divide things up evenly. Which is always presents a little bit of a challenge, even to a guy like me, but kind of fun anyway. Big plate of goodies. Uh-huh. So, quick wipe out here. I'll get this guy cleaned and ready to go back on too. Dry him out. Always drying out my cast iron skillets so they don't rust. And I can see a little bit of wiggle right there, so I'm going to let that white set for a few more seconds, which is just enough time to have one more sip of coffee in the incredible chef mug. Thank you, my niece. There's my set. And there's Jody's breakfast. And we'll see you guys in a week. We'll be probably doing next Tuesday, but you know, life can always get in the way. And we know that. So start your day right, get a big healthy meal going, take it as it comes for the rest of the day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.